Okay, Jen, let's take a look at your swim video analysis. We're going to start with the front view, and we've got the above water view, camera view up top, and the below water on the bottom. We'll let you get a little closer here. Okay, the first thing that I'm seeing, even from this distance, if we look back here, all the bubbles, that's a lot of turbulence. All that bubble action just slows you down. And we'll see later, as you get closer, why you're getting all those bubbles. But just as a note, we've got all that bubble action that is just slowing you down. Okay, let's back this up just a little bit. Right here, we look up top here, nice looking recovery, nice high elbow, up high, and the hand pointed forward. At this point it looks really good, but from here is where the first error that I'm seeing. Another thing to point out while we're here, if we look down here, very nice head position. Nice and low in the water. Head position's very good. Recovery right now looks very good. But as the recovery progresses, you see that arm extends out. The first splash we see is with the elbow. You back it up a little bit. Elbow's up above water. The arm's sticking out above the water. And as we go forward, elbow splashes in, and then the rest of the hand goes in. This is kind of the opposite of what we want to happen. From this nice recovery position, what we'd like for it to happen is for this hand to then, rather than extend out above the water, we want it to dive into the water slightly above your face, in front of your face, about 4 to 6 inches. Fingertips first, and those fingertips will cut a little hole in the water, and then your hand will follow, followed by your wrist, your forearm, your elbow, your upper arm, and finally your shoulder will fall into that hole. It'll be a little bit easier to show on the side view, but I just wanted to point it out here, how that arm goes in all as one, which means that you're extending that arm out in front of you. Let's take a look at your left arm here. Nice high recovery. Very nice recovery. The arm's coming around. Set up for perfect position right here for that hand to dive in and extend out underwater. But what we see happening is the arm extends out above water and all goes in pretty much as a unit. What happens when you extend anything out in front above the water like this, what happens is your legs, when this is extended out up here above water, your legs and lower body, your hips, legs, tend to want to drop. When that happens, your brain realizes it and takes measures to ensure that you don't sink. Because if you were to continue on without taking measures, your body would just sink down. So all of these bubbles that we saw earlier, they are due to this, your lower body wanting to drop, and your upper body is going to do things to ensure that that doesn't happen. The first thing that your upper body is going to do, that I'm seeing here, is once this arm is underwater, what it should do is that arm should stay right where it is until your other arm gets about right here. Once your recovery arm is up about right here, this arm should have been still straight out and just starting to do its pull. But because your legs were dropping, what this hand needs to do is to push straight down. Pushing down with this hand will bring the lower body back up. So we see this hand push straight down, and then finally, eventually, somewhere around here, it's going to start pulling. Same with this one. It enters and immediately pushes downward. Okay, let's take a look at this breath. Let's go back. Okay, we go from this nice head position, which actually may be just slightly too low, but that's okay. I'd rather it be too low than too high. But what happens here, as you go to take that breath, we notice the first thing that happens up top here, if we look up in this area, and I'm going to go back and forth with this. So we're back, we're ready to take a breath. First thing that comes, as the head rotates, it also comes up out of the water and then over rotates. You can see right now the eyes are looking upwards in this direction. We look underwater here, we can only see parts of your head. Your eyes should be looking more straight here or maybe slightly up. But we don't need to rotate all the way that far. So you lift your head and then rotate. Another thing this lifting does is causes the lower body to drop. So anything you extend out above the water in front of you causes the lower body to drop down in the water behind you. So extending your arms out in front or lifting your head up in front causes that lower body to drop. The lower body starts to drop. We got two options to correct that. One is to push down with the hand, and we're going to see that happen right here, straight down. And you'll be able to see it as well from the side view. The other thing you can do to correct that body wanting to drop, and we see it right back here, is kick like crazy. In triathlon swim, we should need very, very little kick. The kick should only help us in rotation. But right now, all these bubbles back here are being created by you kicking really hard to try to keep that lower body up on top of the water. So, two main things here. One is the entry that we just saw with this arm, or it's actually both arms, but the arm gets extended out, and you can see the upper arm is entering the water before the lower arm. We want just the exact opposite to happen. We want those fingertips to be first, and then you come right on up the arm, and then right on up to the shoulder. All of that goes in the water in that order. So that's the first thing, extending those arms up, out in front of your body above water. The second thing is when you take a breath, your head comes up and then rotates, or comes up as it rotates. Anytime you raise your head up above the water also causes the lower body to drop. Go back here. Once again, we see all this bubblage. Behind you there, that's you kicking hard to ensure that your lower body stays up above the water. So two things there, the head and the arm extension that we need to work on. We'll look at it more on the side view and talk about some of the drills you can do to help correct this. Good job.